Alright, I'm gonna start off this video straight up with the title of the video. Crafting was the worst thing ever added to this game. But not in the way you think. Hear me out. I think crafting at the beginning was the best thing. I think it was really good. I think it limited to what you could do. That's their words that they wanted. They didn't want crafting to be the only thing used. They wanted it to be useful and used, but they didn't want to make it too reliable, where everyone had the best weapon and stuff, but then people started getting the best because of RNG, and then others didn't, and then they ended up making it easier. And I think that's where the mistake came in. If you really wanted something that badly, you could work for it, like everyone else had to. Those people, yeah, they didn't get lucky, they farmed for it, okay? Some of them did, so don't get me wrong, some people did get extremely lucky and get it right off the bat, everything. But as a whole, everyone had to farm still. Even if they got really lucky, they still had to farm for it. It wasn't like one and done type scenario. But when they started removing all these materials, now we have guns, we have legendary shards going away, we've got no material other than glimmer and enhancement cores, and multiple ways to farm both of them that are super easy. So you get a ton of them in a limited amount of time. It's just ridiculous. It takes away the whole in-game grind, because what's the point of farming a raid once you get all the red weapons? Who cares? You're like, oh, well, it's not right that there's RNG on RNG. You have to have RNG for the material, you have to have RNG for the weapons, and I'm like, one, that doesn't make any sense, because those weapons, they made it easier and easier to get the material all the time, where that issue just completely went out the window. And even when they first had it, it wasn't hard to get it. Literally, you get it from world drop weapons, the material you needed. And it was completely random, yeah, but wasn't like you needed a ton of it. You just needed a little bit and you could craft. I mean, it was a decent bit, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't great. It wasn't like 1,000 and you only got 10 every time. Like, I think it was like 100 and you got like 50 or 60 at a time or something, like, or 30 maybe, I don't remember, it's been a while. But it wasn't ridiculous, it was just a bit weird, but it wasn't bad. And I think when they took away that, they ruined the game. Because now there's no point farming a dungeon, other than for its exotic. Oh, you happen to get a god roll maybe. Cool. What's the point? The only thing dungeons are still useful for is master dungeons for their artifice armor. The weapons are pointless. In literally 1 or 2 seasons, maybe 3 at the most, they'll add the exact same weapon that's in that dungeon and make it craftable. It won't be the same name, but it'll be the same thing. So I don't see dungeons as worth it anymore, other than the exotics and artifice armor. That's their whole value system to me, which is depressing. And I really think the simple solution was the material should come back. You should need more material. I know Bungie's like, we wanted to get away from that, but that was kind of the solution. It should have took more than 5 pennies to make an entire gun that can literally blow up the entire world. Literally, like the broken guns that are craftable are ridiculous. And yeah, there's some broken ones that aren't craftable right now, don't get me wrong, but it's still RNG. Everything's RNG. That's the point of a looter a RPG looter shooter style gun, whatever the game they wanted to call it. I don't remember what they call it, but yeah, it's designed for farming, and they took away the farming aspect. And I personally feel like that's because they didn't do crafting right. I believe, without a doubt, crafting should be altered and back to what it was. Material should exist. I think they should add the material back. They should make it where there's more defined material, and what I mean by that is basically instead of just more material, it's defined better. So like let's say to craft a weapon for one perk, right, you need, let's say, A material crafts this perk and B material crafts this perk. Well, instead of just having it like that, they should have it where it's more specified. So weapon archetypes, right? If you scout, right? You get scout when you delete a scout rifle. You get material every time for a scout rifle. You hold so much. When you need to craft a pulse, every time you delete a pulse rifle from anything, you get the material for it, right? It's more defined where it's the perks in general on a weapon. It's not just the perks, it's the weapon itself. And then you still need your enhancement cores for the masterwork, obviously. You still need that. But I feel like crafting is just too easy to get too good of loot. There's no struggle of farming. And it takes away the RNG, which means anything like dungeons is useless when they're just going to add it eventually anyways. So why not just wait? And I know people are like, well, if I happen to get the god roll off doing the artifice armor farm or the exotic farm, yeah, you know, you get a god roll, cool, use it. But I'm not wasting my time farming for a god roll. I'm going purely for the exotic and purely for the artifice armor. If I get any of that, I don't care. I know I'm not the only one. I've heard tons of people talk about it. I'm not the only one here. There's a good amount of people that see it this way. Crafting ruined the game because they took away the material for it. They made it a limited set. They made it where so many people could get and so many people couldn't. And yeah, it might have mean some people get god rolls and others don't, but that's why there was still RNG drops. So you could get that god roll that was still really good, and then if you happened to get enough to get the enhanced versions with crafting, then you get even better rolled one. But it's still good on its base form. And that's the thing, they didn't do that right. They messed that up straight off the bat, but then they made it so easy now because they've gotten rid of everything. Because too many people are complaining about this and that. It's not fair, it's not fair. Well, that's the farm. That's how farming games work. Like, RNG is the same thing. In that situation, it's still RNG. Even now, if it takes a while to get red borders for some people, and others it doesn't. It's RNG, right? It sucks. But it would have been the same results either way, except now when people get the red, they can make it way easier than they could back then, where it took a little bit more effort and time and farming, which is what the point of a farming game is. An RPG like this, the style of game this is all about the farm. I really think they need to add material back. I think material was the best solution. I think it balanced out the perks and stuff. It balanced everything out. And I think enhanced should cost a lot more than they do. I think they should be more of a detriment and a benefit. There's no negative. It's all pluses. And I get it. It's like, oh, well, it's enhanced should be better. Yeah, it should give the perk itself better, but then negative something else. So it's like, oh, it's definitely worth using because it's in more damage or more range, but it hurts my stability or my handling. You know, so you feel it. So you have to put more mods in it. It causes build crafting to be better. That's my opinion on it. I mean, obviously everyone has their own opinion. You can have yours. There's nothing wrong with it. I just believe crafting is a mistake at the moment, like it currently is, and I think it needs to be fixed. And that's just how I see it. I think the biggest problem is there's nothing to do with it. It's just, here we go, got a god roll, nothing else. It ruins the activities that are farmable, and it completely ruins everything else. I really felt it was good at how it was originally. And I think they should go back to that, and then make it more defined, but then make it cost more to get better perks. I really do. And I know people are going to disagree with that, and that's okay. But in my opinion, that's how it goes. So, if you enjoyed the video, if you agree with me, you know, let me know in the comments. If you don't, that's okay too. Let me know in the comments. I get it. Like, if you think there's another way to balance it better, let me know. Like, I want more ideas for it. And I want Bungie to recognize there are ways to fix this problem. To make their content worth farming. Because that's the problem. There's nothing worth farming once you get everything. So, let me know either way. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe. I appreciate it. If you didn't enjoy, still like and subscribe. Haha. Yeah. But, yeah, y'all have a good day. I'm out of here.